Hey everybody, it's Hylian Alchemist, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. In the last episode, we did a bunch of side quests, got a lot of heart pieces, and some item upgrades, as well as a magic meter upgrade. In this episode, we are going to head over to our next dungeon. Well, of course, the second dungeon in the Dark World, but overall it's like, maybe not counting Hyrule Castle, the fifth dungeon overall. I think that's, yeah, that's the fifth dungeon. Oh yeah, one thing I also gotta mention, I forgot to mention this in the last episode, after you beat the Dark Palace, I'm pretty sure that from here on out, the other, rest of the dungeons are non-linear. Because if you look at the map, then, oh, god damn it. Yeah, that picket right there, I don't think I mentioned the name. That enemy right there is a picket. Very much similar to the like, he will eat your shield, so you wanna hurry and get it back. I really don't remember whether or not I've gone over this guy. I guess because it's been so long since I've done any Let's Playing, and my memories were kind of starting to fade away for some reason. And that's kind of bad. It really is. But yeah, be sure you want to get rid of those pickets, because they're pretty annoying like that. And I don't think I've gone over those flying enemies either, the ones that kind of look like Koopa shells. Well, at least they kind of do look like them to me. Those are called the Zeros. There's actually one variant who just fly around, and there's another one who which will drop bombs at you. The purple ones don't, but the green ones do. So that's one thing you gotta know about it. Now, there's actually one kind of way that we need to do in order to get into our next dungeon. Is that first we need to go back to the Light World. And you're probably wondering why we need to do so. Well, it's because we just go right inside here. And we go up a little further just by pushing these blocks. And then what you want to do is that you want to pull the second lever to the right. This one right here. And that will open up the dam, and the water will flow out. As a matter of fact, I think we've done this before. To get that one heart piece next to that, Yeah, we've done this before, just by draining the water here. What that also does is that once we step back into the Dark World and these little sparkly things, it does the same thing here as well. Because apparently, well, first, you actually do need to do that first in order to get to our next dungeon, which is this one right here. So let's go inside right now, and welcome to the Swamp Palace. Swamp Palace, I gotta say, is not quite as long as the Dark Palace, but it is a little annoying. And talk to this little slab right here. Then Heisenberg will go and tell us about how the connection between the Light World and Dark World, and that if you go back into the Light World, then you just do the one thing like draining the water, and then it does the same kind of effect in the Dark World as well. So that's what you need to do first in order to get to this dungeon, because I guess it's kind of connected like that. Yeah. Anyways, here we are in the Swamp Palace. Like I said, well, I know. I mean, I'm not quite too much of a fan of this this dungeon. It can be a little annoying, and you know, most of you guys are probably saying that's kind of like the Water Temple, despite the fact that Ocarina of Time came out after this game. It's just a little bit annoying. That's all. Mainly because of some things like, you know, some of the layouts and enemy placements, and also for one thing, I kind of do a few stupid things in this dungeon, but that's mainly because I was just trying to look up, that way I won't get lost. Because like I said, though, I don't really remember much of the dungeon layouts in this game. So we just picked up another one of our tortillas that we will be needing, because it is a good tortilla. Now, if you know enemies who go over here, those insects right here are called the water Tektites. They're basically just Tektites, and well, they'll just swim around a lot, does a couple of sword swipes, and they're down. Not too much of a threat, basically. And those bubble-like enemies, those are called the Chimerons, and I'm actually looking this up again just to make sure I don't forget. The one bad thing about it is that you actually can't really defeat them, unless I don't think so. Because I actually tried doing that and it didn't. Well, I think the only thing it did is that it just they just splash off like that, but I don't think there's really any other way to defeat them, because they just keep responding like that. I mean, at least as far as I'm aware. One thing I will say about this dungeon as well is that some of the rooms kind of look like they're a little recycled. Like, they can be a little repetitive. Like, some of the rooms kind of look the same, and the way you had to go through those is kind of the same as well. Like, you had to go through one of those locked doors, and then you had to pull one of those levers, like this right here. So that way the water will start flowing from that statue head. Which gives you a little more progression through the dungeon. I didn't even bother bombing that cracked wall right there. It just leads to a few skulls to break, and I'll give you rupees. That's all there is to it. And there are also some other new enemies that'll come out of these holes right here, and they are called the Piragusus. And you actually can try to slash them away if you want to, just for some things, but, well, actually, as far as I'm aware, they don't give you anything. But they'll constantly come out of the holes like that, and it just never ends, so that's another one annoying thing about this dungeon, is just these guys. They'll just keep popping out of the holes over and over again. So it's really not worth your time if you're trying to kill them all, like, one by one. And at least I'll be going after the compass this time around, although it's actually kind of a long way to get the compass. And I don't think you can screw this up because you have to push that one block to make the treasure chest appear, and then you get the compass. Make sure you just push inside the right block, like the one at the bottom right here, and that's what makes the compass appear. So it's actually kind of a good thing I remember what I was trying to say before we went into this dungeon. So yeah, if you actually check your map, as long as you're in the overworld, after completing the Dark Palace, is that a lot more of the, pretty much the rest of the dungeons will be marked on your map. Well, at least in the numbers right here. Like, you know, before you actually start the Dark Palace, and the map will show you that it's the only dungeon that they have to go. But then after that is done and over with, then the rest of the dungeons of the Dark World will be marked on your map. So I'm pretty sure that you can go in any kind of order you want in a non-linear fashion, as far as I'm aware. I mean, I can't recall for sure if that's actually the case, or if or there's some dungeons you need to beat first to get to the other dungeon, like, you know, some sort of item. But as far as I'm aware, you don't have to, I don't think you have to do this in a linear kind of fashion. So yeah, you probably see what I mean right there with that one room we just went through. That's pretty much what I mean about some of the rooms being a little repetitive in this dungeon. I will say, though, that this dungeon actually does contain one of my absolute favorite items in the Zelda series. Oh my god, I love it so much. You'll see what I mean. And I will soon cancel this noise here, because, you know, just hearing that over and over, with Spike kind of stuck like that, you can see right here, between that and the blue box, it is really annoying like that, just having to, constantly hear that noise. Oh yeah, that's right, there was, one other enemy I didn't even mention. You know those little blobs that, that pop out of the holes? Or, holes, what am I saying? Floor, it's the floor. Does it even look like a hole to you, dumbass? Yeah, those blob-like enemies, those are called Zols, and they're returning enemies from Zelda 1. Yeah, they'll just pop out of the floors out of nowhere, and they'll just come at you. They're not too much of a threat, and they're pretty easy to kill. I will say this, though, that they do get very annoying in the Game Boy Zelda games, like Link's Awakening or the Oracle games, because they pretty much come out everywhere. And yeah, this is where, well, I actually try to desperately look for those, look for hearts that the skulls may contain, but to no avail, alas, because this game is not very nice to me today. It's a good thing I have, bottles of red potions. Because trust me, you will need those. You are going to need those red potions, considering how... Because like I said, as soon as you step in the Dark World, that's where the game gets a little more challenging. especially with the enemies and, of course, the dungeons themselves. Now, later on in the game, we will be getting those, some tunic upgrades, which will increase our defense. But for now, we're kind of stuck with a green tunic. And our heart capacity will kind of decrease by a lot if we get hit by those enemies. So you really do want to make sure you pack some hearts with you. That's kind of where I fucked up on this one. That's one kind of stupid thing I did just by pushing the blocks in the wrong order. But yeah, at a time like this, just make sure you have a lot of red potions with you, because you will be needing those, just in case the game doesn't want to give you any hearts, because the game never gives any hearts to me. I mean, if you're lucky enough, then you're likely to find some hearts, but not in my case, because I haven't been getting any hearts lately. The game hasn't been getting. Okay, I'm slurring my words again. I cannot speak today. I'm trying to say that this game haven't been giving me any hearts lately. Jesus! I cannot speak today! Ugh. I mean, trust me there, I'm not drunk. I am not having any drinks, although it is now 1:42 p.m. around where I live. So, I'm usually drinking is kind of a thing that I would do at night, although I'm not really much of a heavy drinker, honestly. Sometimes I would drink, but just on occasions. But I mean, it kind of does sound like I'm drunk, and I swear to you, I'm not. I'm exaggerating here. I'm really not drunk. So just please don't take it the wrong way. But now we have the big key, and that means we will be opening up our item for this dungeon. I was just gonna say Temple of the Item, but that's a kind of catchphrase said by the likes of Liam Six and Josh Shepson. So I don't want to say too much of it. I don't want to steal their kind of style. So anyway, boing! This is a hookshot. I have no idea where they get boing from. Well, it is a spring-loaded chain after all, so it would make a little bit of sense. But you know, you never actually hear a boing kind of sound effect in the 3D Zelda games, like in Ocarina of Time. You never hear a boing sound effect, so I don't know why. They just give a little sound effect. But anyway, the hook shot. Oh my god, I love this item so much. It is one of my absolute favorite items in the Zelda series. What that does is that as you can see here, you can grapple onto anything like treasure chests or skulls or pots. Well, any kind of certain things that you want to grapple onto, and it'll take you from one platform to the next. And I love it like that. I love the hook shot so much. It's so good. You have no idea how amazing this hookshot is. I love this hookshot. It's so amazing. It's so lovable. It's such a kind-hearted thing. What would I ever do without the hookshot? Because there's no hookshot in any other Zelda games. It is an absolute crime, an absolute sin. I can never live without the hookshot. It is my one true love with the hookshot. Okay, I know. I don't know what is going on with me right now, but you know, I just love the hookshot. It's such a cool item. It is one of my absolute favorite items, and I will never deny that whatsoever. But anyways, yeah, I kind of want to be careful with those bars. It's actually best to shoot them with your arrows. And even when they're using their electricity like that, of course, it's actually very hard for you to actually try to shoot the mini bars like the berries with the arrows, because they're very hard to hit. So it's best to just hit them with your sword, as long as they're not electrifying you. One thing you want to be careful though is that if you actually try to hit them with a hookshot, make sure that they don't use their electricity. Because what happens is that, since the hookshot is made out of metal, and naturally, metal actually, they have this little lightning rod, like here, like, you know, if you have metal around electricity, then it kind of, then the electricity goes along with the metal, and you'll get electrocuted. So that's what happens if you use a hookshot. while they're using, while the barriers are using electricity, because you will take damage if you actually try to attempt to hit them with a hook shot, because of the metal. And it's actually true like that. It is a thing that does happen in real life as well, scientifically speaking. It actually does happen. So that's why it's never a good idea to just wave metal around and during lightning storms, because that will happen to people, and they get electrocuted, and they could die from that. It's really never a good idea. It's a real stupid idea for you to do so. And yeah, I was a little bit lost here in this room. I almost died because of that. So I had to use up use of the potions. And this really isn't that much of an important room here. All you do, you basically just replenish on bombs or rupees and all the like. Here we go, right up in here of this little waterfall, and I do believe we're just about getting close. Yeah, it looks like the video is just a little bit close to the end. So we're just about getting a little bit close to the boss here in this dungeon. Well, at least we're kind of on our way over there. Oh yeah, and here's another stupid thing that I did here as well. Because, like, you know, it's actually not worth it to try to kill those water Tektites, because, like, no matter what, they will, no matter what, you actually can never hit them from this angle, if you try to, and they actually will try to come after you as well. Like, if you're actually close to the edge, they will try to come close to you, as they'll try to come to you, but they never work because you're close to the edge, and, like, it's like they're daring you to jump into the water, so that way they can attack you. They're up to you, and they dare you to jump to the water, so you can take damage from them. So you kind of want to be careful with that, and it's just not worth it to try to attack them either from the ledge. What you're actually supposed to do is you're actually supposed to swim over to the far right on that layout just to get that key, but I didn't even bother to do so because I kind of forgot what I had to do, and then I had to look up the Zelda dungeon guide, and well, that's what you had to do. Just pick up that key like that. So yeah, I kind of did screw around right here, but anyways, you can see on the symbol right here is that we have now made it to the boss of this dungeon. And so here we have Argus. And so this boss here has two phases. Argus basically, like, it's kind of like that one boss in Zelda 1, as far as I remember. What he does is that he actually shields himself, or he actually has those little cotton ball things called Argies, and they basically try to protect him. So what you gotta do first is that you have to basically get rid of all of them. So just use your hookshot to latch onto them, and then have them come to you, and then just slash them away. That's basically what you gotta do first, is just make them defenseless by getting rid of all the Argies, and then that's where the second phase comes in. It's a relatively easy boss, I'll give it that. It's pretty simple. And so after all the Argies are defeated, and then that's where the second phase comes in, is that he'll drop to the ground, and then he'll start then he'll start moving around aimlessly around the room. And all you gotta do is that you just slash him away. Just keep slashing at him until he's done and over with, and that's all you gotta do. It's a pretty simple boss. He'll just go around all over the place, but yeah, I think it takes around like 8 hits, or 4 hits if you're using the Ice Rod, but I never really bother using the Ice Rod. I always go for the sword. I haven't really counted how many hits there's left. I think just one more hit, and I think he should be done, I believe. Nope, no, okay. I kind of thought wrong. There we go. And now Argus is down. It's gonna pick up the heart container. And now we have picked up this crystal, and we have released our second maiden. Alright, so 2 maidens down, and I think 5 more to go, if I remember correctly. I think there's 5 more to go. Alright, and yeah, of course, just like last time, they'll give you some info about the Dark World itself, like what it used to be the Golden Land. And some more info about the Triforce himself, like basically some exposition and backstory. That's what the mains will always do. And the one who touched the Triforce was Ganondorf, the evil thief. I mean, sorry, once again, I'm kind of having trouble speaking. But yeah, you remember how, you guys know about Ganon, well, like, you know, I mean, it's actually revealed, like, you know, in A Link to the Past, he was originally called Ganondorf. Like, instead of just Ganon, he's called Ganondorf. Like, they just added the dwarf in there. More like Ganondork. Yeah, some backstory in Link to the Past reveals that, Ganon, like, you know, when people first introduced to Ganon in Zelda 1, they always see him as a big, boar-like monster. Link to the Past reveals that he actually wasn't like that. He wasn't always like that, the boar-like demon that was introduced in Zelda 1. Which, of course, we never actually get to see in this game, although we do get to see him like that in Ocarina of Time, but more on that a little later. But, of course, that's pretty much the Ganondorf that we know today. But, you know, that's pretty much what people are trying to assume. Like, they were kind of thinking what Ganondorf would look like before he turned to this boar-like monster in Link to the Past, at least before Ocarina of Time came out. And, of course, that game was where we got the answers, so... Anyway, so we have now just been the Swamp Palace, and next time on Let's Play Link to the Past, maybe do some side quest stuff. We'll consider we got the hook shot. I don't know what we'll be doing next, but we'll see. So, until next time, see you guys later.